In today's lesson, we're going to multiply fractions using the traditional method. So the first example is exactly like the ones we did before. The second example is a little different, and we'll take a look at in just a minute. So for this question right here, we are going to write this as an improper fraction. What would it be? 15 over 7. Very good. So 15 over 7 times 14 over 15. Now, I'm going to show you something that we can do here. Even though this is a question like we've done before, this is going to come out of the file of work smarter, not harder. Now, this is a method that you're going to see all over the place when you get to high school. If you are multiplying fractions like we are here, the key word is multiplying, then what we can do is we can look at the top and the bottom of fractions that aren't, like the numerator and denominator that aren't even of the same fraction, and we can reduce it before we even do the multiplying, which will make the multiplying easier to do. Because some of you probably don't know what 14 times 15 is, so let's make it easier so we don't have to do that. So what's a number that goes into 14 and 7? What's a number that goes into 4? No, 2 does not go into 7. 2 is an even number, 7 is not. What's a number that goes into 14 and 7? 7, great. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide these both by 7. So if I divide 7 by 7, I get 1. And you see I'm replacing it with a 1. If I divide 14 by 7, I get 2. Okay? Now, the fun doesn't stop there because we can do the same thing with 15 and 15. What divides into 15 and 15? 15. What do we get when we divide 15 by 15? 1. 1. And now we can go ahead and do our normal stuff where we go take the top number and multiply it by the top number. So 1 times 2 is 2. And 1 times 1 is 1. And because we end up with a 1 on the bottom, 2 divided by 1, Caden, is? 2 divided by 1 is? You have it written down on your paper. 2. Very good. All right. So instead of having to figure out what 15 times 14 is, we simplified our top and our bottom. And again, this only works when we multiply. If you start doing this when you're adding and subtracting, you'll be breaking all sorts of math rules, and you don't want to do that. But it's a nice way of simplifying things. So let's do it again. This time we're going to look at a bigger question, because instead of multiplying 2 fractions together, we're going to multiply 3 together. Before we begin, though, all fractions have to be written as improper. So 2.5 becomes what? 5 over 2. 1 3/5 becomes 8 over 5. And 1 1/12 becomes 13 over 12. Good. We have some options here of where we want to start. The most obvious place to start, do you think, is where? How do you want to do this? Give me a top and give me a bottom. A top and a bottom. So let's do 8 and 2. What do we divide into 8 and 2? 2. 8 and 2 can both be divisible by 2. What's 2 divided by 2?
1.
What's 8 divided by 2?
4.
Cool. All right. Let's do it again. 5 and 5. Cool. 5 and 5. What are 5 and 5 both divisible by? 5. And 5 goes into 5 how many times? Once. So both of them become 1s. And guess what? We can do it once more.
13 and 2?
4 and 12.
4 and 12. So we're going to take something we've already simplified, and do it again. So we're gonna take 4 and 12. So here's 4 and here's 12. What goes into 4 and 12? 2 does, but 4 is better, because 4 is bigger. 4 goes into them both, and 4 goes into 4 once, and it goes into 12 3 times. So we're left with a lot easier of a product to come up with. Because if we hadn't done this, we would have had to multiply 5 times 8 times 13, which is 520. But it would have taken a lot longer for us to get there. So now we end up with 1 times 1 times 13, which is 13. And 1 times 1 times 3, which is 3. So 13 over 3. How many 3's go into 13? 4. So we have 4, and how many left over? 1. So it becomes 4 and 1/3. So we're able to simplify, but a couple takeaways. And I mentioned this already, but I'll repeat it again. You can only do this when you're multiplying. Don't do this when you're adding or subtracting or even dividing, only when you're multiplying. And you have to take a number from the top and the bottom. You can't take 2 numbers from the top, and you can't take 2 numbers from the bottom. One has to be on the top, one has to be on the bottom. And one final thing, the fun only begins once you write your fractions as improper fractions. Don't try to do this if the fractions are mixed. Turn them all to improper, and then you can do it.